Who are you?
So my name is Tala Mazhari, and I just recently launched a new soap brand named Tameez. And the concept behind Tameez is to take this everyday object that has turned into something so important for us into an object of design. So that when we place it into our bathrooms, it looks not only like soap, but also of a decoration object. And so I took a natural soap base, which is excellent for the skin, and I began playing with it and turning it into different shapes, colors, and each soap will have a specific personality to it that goes with the fragrance. And the shapes are all cut by hand with my knife. And this is the precious collection, so it's based on 2 precious stones, emeralds and sapphires. And then I have a more graphic, more pop collection called the marble collection, where I have more graphic lines with neon colors, bright colors. More will be coming soon.
Do you sell to like boutique hotels?
Not yet. I just actually opened about a month ago. So I opened up, this is the first atelier boutique in the 7th. So as you can see behind me, I have my atelier de fabrication. So this is where I make all the soap.
Can we go in?
Of course.
So these look like gold. Can you
So I just made these yesterday. And so the concept is I pretty much work in different steps of production. So I first begin by creating what's called the green mold, to which I add some black pigments as well. So this is all natural colors. And then I chop it up. So I have, this is the only thing that I use to cut my soap. So I chop it up with a kitchen knife. That's how I started, during COVID with nothing to work with but my kitchen knife. So I started working with that, and I realized that by working with our hands and with, a regular kitchen knife, you can get any shape you want. And so I began kind of, chopping up the soap and then reprocessing it, adding gold mica, which by the way, so the gold is, it's bronze mica, which is what cosmetics use for eyeshadow. So everything is natural and good for the skin. And as you can see that I wrap it in the black paper, which then goes into the packaging that you just saw.
So it's hypoallergenic?
So I use synthetic fragrance. So it depends on the sensitivity of the skin, but these are all made for the skin, made for cosmetics. But I do custom orders for people who have allergies and wish to have no fragrance.
I think you should have a line of no fragrance also, just because there's probably a lot of people that want it. And the scents, the oils, or the juice?
So they're all synthetic fragrances, which I use from 2 different suppliers. I have one in the United States, and I have one in Grasse. And each scent that I use needs to be tested many times to make sure that it doesn't change the aspect of the soap, because most fragrances will change the color. And as you can see, I can't have the fragrances change at all the aspect of the soap. So I spend a lot of time testing and studying fragrances. And I also make sure that they go well with the collection. For example, if you look at this one, so this is the neon yellow. And so for me, yellow is a sign of optimism, happiness, fun. And so the scent that I chose for this is the only sweet one of the collection. It's a grapefruit and pineapple. And then if we look at, for example, the emerald green, so this is the bestseller of the collection. And for this one, I chose a fragrance that has bamboo, jasmine, and vetiver to go with the green color, so that as we smell it, we feel like we're in a forest, some natural space, etc. So a lot of time has been given to choosing the fragrances and colors to go well together.
And do you sell like to the Middle East by any chance?
So I actually had, kind of by chance, one Saudi Arabian princess place an order in December. So she was very discreet about her identity and what she was doing with the soap. So I think given that it was December, it was probably Christmas presents for her family and people in her entourage. But that's the only contact I've had so far with the Middle East. But
because I would think you would do
to
very well there, as well as boutique hotels.
Well, I'm Persian origin, so we love everything that's not discreet, very shiny and bright and gold. So I guess my heritage also has something to do with the way that I design the soap. So I would have to agree the Middle East would probably be a good market.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Also, I mean, Neiman Marcus shops like that. So you sell primarily from here?
So I sell primarily direct for now, but right now I'm trying to look at my sales strategy to see whether I should, target the bigger retailers such as the Galeries Lafayette, Bon Marché, Neiman Marcus, as you said, or if I should go into more the niche, which is more the design, because I've noticed that a lot of my clients, they're not necessarily clients that are into cosmetics, but they're all into design and the arts and fashion. Architects, I've had a lot of architects that have liked my soap, and I think it's because of the shapes, the colors that they're very attracted to. So I still need to find my market and my audience. I myself love fashion. I grew up loving fashion. I spent my first career working for a French fashion magazine. So I think the creativity has always been the heart of the brand. And so I think I need to find where those clients are, which so far I've seen they're in design and the arts, and to target that market. So,
like a shop Art Curiel or something.
Well, for now I've had a lot of architects, interior designers, architects, some artists, and they love to buy the soap to showcase it. Not always in their bathroom. Sometimes it's in the living room. And so they find that it's very interesting that when you look at the object, you can't tell what it is at all. Especially the ones that are sculpture shapes. So,
in the heat of the summer, do they melt?
I've placed them in the sun. So, for example, if you look at the Emerald collection, the Sapphire, when you place them in the sun for a very long time, they don't melt. I haven't found them to melt, but then in France, we don't get 40-degree weather very much. But they turn lighter, and it actually makes them more beautiful because the transparency begins to show more the shiny aspect.
And what are the prices like?
So to make it simple for the consumer, I have two prices. I have one price for the rectangular shape, which is this one here, 200 grams approximately. And then for the larger sculptures, 34 euros, which goes from 320 grams to 360 grams, depending on the cut.
And how easy is it to use, like when you're taking a shower?
So the rectangular ones are like most soaps that people will use, so they're very easy. The larger ones could be a little more difficult to manipulate. So the way I use it, to especially not ruin the design, is I tend to... So we keep the gold and then lather all over the body. But these are definitely heavier. So if you have bigger hands, it's obviously more practical. And a lot of people, what I've noticed is they actually cut the soap. Because it's high in glycerin, it's easy to cut with a kitchen knife. So you can cut a little piece, use that one to wash yourself, and then you have a piece left as decoration at the side of your sink or kitchen.
And what's your address on the web?
So www.tameez, Tameez.fr.
Great, thank you.